Good day and welcome to Political Talk on Housing TV Africa. My name is Ubong Osoro and I'm your host today. Today on the program, we are going to be exploring what it means for our president to clock 73 years on earth and what are some of the policies that he has brought and how these policies have actually affected Nigerians and how we as Nigerians can key into Mr. President's policies and make the most out of it, right? So that is our discussion for today. Let's go on a short break, and when we are back, I'll be showing you our analyst for today, somebody who has done so much work in the rural community, so much work around community development, and helping the society get better. Let's go on a short break. Don't go nowhere. This is Housing TV Africa, and my name is Ubong Osoro.
Get credible and authentic housing news at your fingertips by downloading the Housing TV mobile app. You can also join the African International Housing Show live from across the globe through the Housing TV mobile app. The mobile app features live streaming and trending housing news. You can locate the AIHS venue via the app, network with AIHS seasoned speakers, and live chat with exhibitors. You can also order house or building materials at AIHS via this app. Download the Housing TV mobile app now from the App Store and Google Play Store. And don't forget to click on the notification button. Available for both iOS and Android users. Housing TV is also on Star Times, channel 149 decoder.
All right, so welcome back. This is Housing TV Africa. The program is Political Talk, and I have Mr. Mike Udam, who is a community development expert. He's done so much work around community development. I know firsthand about his passion and all of the resources he has actually put to do this work. He's also a school teacher. He likes that I say that publicly. You're welcome to the show, Mr. Mike. How are you? How are you coping in the village? It seems people in the village are enjoying more than us in Abuja.
Very exciting. I'm happy to be with you on your show today. In the village, we eat fresh vegetable, and we are excited to manage with what we have. And some of the unnecessary hassles of the urban centers are not yet in the village. So we almost everything we do around here is natural. The streams are natural and the crops are natural, except that there had been drought. We just had rains a few days ago, and so everybody's now running to the farms to begin to prepare for the farming season.
Let's look at Nigeria under President Tinubu. The president celebrated, his 73rd birthday some days ago, and so many people pouring in congratulatory messages. What do you think about this man? A man whose journey has been a journey of resilience. We've seen political strategy and leadership. Remember, the president was one of those who fought for democracy in the 1990s, especially with Nedako at the time, after the annulment of the June 12 election in 1993. And he was forced on exile. He came back to Nigeria, and he's been so committed to democracy. You could see, as a former senator, a governor, became governor in 1999 under the Alliance for Democracy, and has been playing opposition politics, talking about how we could help the country. He came in, and the first thing was policy changes that people were afraid of doing for so many years. We saw him stop fuel subsidy. So let's look at, as a political analyst, talk about Nigeria under President Tinubu.
Well, basically, let me join other Nigerians to wish the president a happy birthday, even when I do not agree with some of his policies. But it is fundamental that I wish him a happy birthday. We all want to grow to be those that fulfill our dreams. According to the president, it has been his desire to be the 001 of the country, the number one citizen. And that desire has been actualized. We don't want to look at the process. Time for the discussion about the process is past. It's time for governance. So I expect him to settle down and make Nigerians to smile. You know, one of the campaign promises was that he was able to fix Lagos. And so we're expecting him to fix Nigeria. You know, the political complexity of Lagos and that of Nigeria is not the same. They are different. And in Nigeria, he's going to be meeting a lot of political activities and a lot of regional dynamics. And so for any policy he is doing, my advice for him is to look at the common good of the common man. But for me to assess him, I would say that the president has performed within the region of 45%. Because, you know, not everybody is fair in analyzing. I don't want to look at some nitty-gritty of some matters, but I want to take the president point by point. You see, when the president arrived, I am one person that supported fuel subsidy removal. My research has shown that it was a scam. I've done a lot of investigation as a person, and I know that we were just wasting our energy. But what was worrisome was that the president removed fuel subsidy when he had not set in place necessary palliative to cushion the effect. And you know, his economic handlers did not advise him well that, Mr. President, Nigeria is a country of upward drive. What that means is that once you play with fuel, everything skyrocket up. And even when fuel comes down, the things refuse to come down. It's a very sad reality. It's a sad reality. So the president needed to have known to put certain things in order, in place before diving in that direction. I even congratulate him. In fact, if you read the president's speech in 2012, when the campaign against Jonathan, he criticized Jonathan and told Jonathan about 9 things to do before removing fuel subsidy. So if he had even done 5 of the 9 things he told Jonathan then, before removing fuel subsidy, I would have been happy with him. And one of them was getting the refineries functional. You can imagine removing subsidy and now waiting and hoping for Dangote refinery to come on stream. That is, for me, a delicate point. And that is what has affected the government. In terms of policy grip and in terms of security, to be very fair with the president has done well. The people of Benue can attest that apart from a few weeks now that there are some few renewed skirmishes, there has been relative peace in Benue. There has been relative peace in Taraba. There has been relative peace in Plateau, relatively, compared to how it was before. And then in the southeast, with the strong effort of Soludo, there's relative peace along the southeast corridor. When you are moving from south-south going to the southwest. So we can notice that. I can give him credit as the commander-in-chief. But overall, I may not be worthy, but I'll score him. I use the word may not be worthy. I am from the office of the citizen. He is in the office of the president. Because in Nigeria, most often when people have been blessed with resources here and there, they tend to criticize you when you are trying to raise issues that are very direct in front of them. I want the president to step up his game. He has been, for me, the president has been sufficiently distracted, especially with the rivers crisis. He has been distracted. It's affecting governance. We know the importance of we know the importance of Rivers State, but it has affected governance. And the picture being painted now is that of a state capture, where even a good policy of the president may be misunderstood. For me, as a person, yes. So I wish him well. I wish him well. And by my rating of him is about between 40-45% over 100.
You know, 40-45% is not actually a pass mark, if you ask me. You know, but let's talk about some of the highlights and some key achievements that people in this government has raised. You know, they've raised that we've had reduction in our debt servicing as a result of the pragmatic steps taken by Mr. President?
Ubong, let me let you know this very clearly. Sometimes maybe the perspective he's seeing or the handlers are seeing is different from the ordinary man in the street. I can assure you that there's reduction in prices. Cement has dropped from 10,000 to 9,500. So marginally 500 naira is out. That's the reduction. You see, the point is that Nigeria, let me say this very clearly. There are some of the issues I do not blame the president. People only use that environment he created to do harm. Do you know that businessmen capitalize on the exchange rate to even create a lot of harm on the economy? I'll give you an example. Now the exchange rate they are correct, the exchange rate is a little bit stabilized. It is standing now at about 1,500 naira or thereabout. It's okay. It is not that is what we want. We want it to drop till it gets to 1,000. But it has left 1,007 and returned to 1,500. And so maybe we need to start to celebrate. But that is not where we are supposed to get it down to at least up to 200 naira. It's possible if we turn things around. It's just about policy. The issue is that, for me, I would say this, that the president is sufficiently distracted. There are so many unnecessary issues that are distracting us. And once distraction sets in, it affects infrastructural development, it affects key policy direction. At some point, it's too early for people to start talking about 2027. Some people do not have jobs. So the only job they have is political activity. So when you tell them that there's no political activity, it's governance now, they look for something to do so that there's political activity. My own request to the president is simple. I am privileged to have this floor, that he should return back to the old housing policy. During the era of Shagari, houses were built in all the 547 local governments at that time. We had housing estates. Today, we have 774 local governments. All the federal government should initiate housing policy that each local government will have a housing estate where people can have affordable housing. That is a key policy direction. It does not influence our political party. Number two, if I would request the president to look, I'll tell the president that there's a bill on his table for the establishment of Federal University of Technology, Ogoja, so that we in the rural area can have access to education easily. Just like the Ikodabasi Federal University of Technology had made people from Ikodabasi, Opobo, and those riverine areas to have opportunity of getting technological skill at their doorstep. I would equally ask the president to open up the issue of roads. The road linking Benue to Cross River is bad. It's bad to the point that I do not know whether Benue State have legislators. Between Boko and Kasinala and Ogoja, the road is terribly bad. Yet, everywhere is quiet. So the president should concentrate on infrastructure. Because when you want to win the next election, people need to see things on the ground to be able to use it to assess you. Key policy direction should be policies that will touch the common man. I like the policy of the president concerning especially the student loan. This is the first of its kind in the country, and that is a plus. I am more interested in governance. I don't want to look at things from a political angle. Politicians know how to whip sentiment here and there. But I'm saying that now that it has been his desire to become the president. Now he is the president. Let him do something different and leave a huge mark that even the next person coming will not be able to fill that gap.
You talked about, yeah. Yeah, you talked about roads, infrastructure, and all of that. Presently, there are about 8 major roads that are being, constructed around the country. We have the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road that, about more than 5 kilometers is already completed, handled by ITEC. We have about 8 major roads. Yesterday, I saw that this presently that are going on immediately. We've had the Minister of Works, visit these different roads and all of that. So infrastructure, talking about that, I'm not defending him, but I'm mentioning some of the things. And let's talk about the minimum wage. You are a worker and you understand what it means. For so many years, people were actually canvassing for increment and all of that. But this president came in and lifted the minimum wage to 70,000. Don't you think these are policy highlights that are actually shown that he is ready to push the country?
To talk, you've just pushed me to talk about that. I was thinking that I was going to be looking at other issues and not that area. For the issue of salary, there is just nothing to write home about. Our economy has made the salary to look ineffective. That's just what I'll say. You can imagine if a bag of rice is 65,000 and the person that earns 70,000 at a minimum wage. We know he's not going to buy a bag of rice and take it and consume it for 1 month. But just imagine that he attempts to buy a bag of rice. You see, there's a strong relationship between poor remuneration and bribery and corruption. When I know that I'm taken care of by government, there's just no reason why I will be stealing from government coffers. But when I know that what I am going, I know a friend of mine that is about retiring from civil service. He'll have looked at himself and looked at himself. He had discovered that with 3 years left, he doesn't have anything to fall back to. If you create any chance for him now, he will steal sufficiently. That's because, to be very honest with you, no civil servant without any extra activity can build a house in today's Nigeria. Cure ED, write it down. No civil servant without any extra income, either stealing from the office or doing extra jobs, can build a house in today's Nigeria. It is as bad as that. So when you see civil servant building and driving very powerful cars, you now know that he or she is either doing something else or doing something dangerous within the system. And the disparity, if you look at what someone takes home after 35 years and what a House of Reps member takes home in just a month, you can understand. I don't want to discuss that. I want to take Mr. President on his word. A lot of people used to sing on his mandate they stand. We want that mandate to stand well. And let us see transformation. I am praying for him to transform Nigeria. I don't have a right to criticize him now. So because whether I like it or not, he is the president and commander-in-chief, 001. So I want him to do better. I want him to do well. You see, when you look at the work that Lee Kuan Yew left in Singapore, you ask whether he came from the moon. No, he's a human being. Go back to America. Look at the work of John F. Kennedy in the era of the Great Depression in America. Look at great presidents like Abraham Lincoln and others. They left their mark. I want Mr. President to leave his mark. Too much of politics is, we are playing politics so much so that governance is now, government policies are no longer, in fact, I grew up at a time when we had mass mobilization, MAMSA. Mass mobilization. National Orientation Agency, they then called MAMSA. They were coming to villages, put cinemas, and show us what government was doing. And then they would drive government policy to the rural setting. I remember going to watch cinemas. Today, if you look at the budget of National Orientation Agency, it will shock you. Yet, we don't have any government information disseminated to anywhere. Rather, we have social media journalists who are even more reporting more semi-accurate than even government-owned media. So it has gone, okay, now if we want to do analysis, what is the National Orientation Agency doing? The president should wake up in that regard. Look at them and wake that ministry or that department of government. So that's my point. My point is that I wish him well. I want him to work. Because as it stands right now, while the economy is picking up, the rural centers are in deep trouble.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mike Udam. We'll have you again on the show, I promise you, and we'll have a longer time because there are so many things. We'll have to talk about housing in the rural centers, and these are some of the issues that we'll like to discuss. Thank you so much for sparing us your time and coming on the show today.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Mike Udam. Dr. Mike Udam, coming on the show all the way from Ogoja. He is a community development expert and he's done so much work regarding community advocacy. Thank you so much. And that's the package for our show for today. I wish you all of the best. Stay safe. I pray God blesses you and keep doing the best you can. My name is Ubong Usoro and this is Housing TV Africa.